On Friday, President Obama had a big gaffe. He said that the private sector is doing fine. And then the world exploded. They said, how could you say that? We're in the midst of an economic downturn and these are tough economic times. And then he immediately came back out a couple of hours later to correct the gaffe, because gaffes are so important in politics these days, to say that, well, they're not doing fine, but relative to the public sector, they're doing better than them, right? Which is exactly what he meant to say, which is absolutely true, which is what I'm about to show you. Now, of course, the Republicans are pulling their hair out, but let's just remember for a second, who caused the economic downturn in the first place? It was the Republicans under George W. Bush who cost us millions upon millions of jobs. And now they're worried that President Obama is saying that it's doing fine. Yeah, it's not doing well enough because of you schmucks. So you're no one to complain. Now, I, on the other hand, am a progressive, and I don't believe the president's positions have been nearly progressive enough. And I think that that would have helped the economy tremendously, and we'd be in better shape right now. And the private sector would be if he took a more progressive tack. But let's go to the essence of what this argument is about. President Obama wanted to contrast and compare public sector and private sector. So let me show you a really interesting graph here. First of all, we're going to show you a big red line here that goes up there. Do you see the public sector under Bush? See, now that's interesting, because the Republicans claim that, oh, they're so tough on government spending, et cetera. But in reality, under President Bush, the public sector employment went way up. In fact, as we're about to show you, it's, well, as you see in the graph there, over 4% increase in public sector. Now, if you look at the very last line there, public sector under Obama, well, there was the initial census hiring, and after that, it went way down. So actually, President Obama is hiring so many less people than President Bush did. So wait a minute, I thought the Republicans were the ones that, we're going to go reduce federal employees and state employees and too much government, big government's too big. But it turns out, no, President Bush increased it, President Obama decreased it. Now, if you notice private sector, let's put the chart back up. Just as an aside here, under President Bush, private sector did not do as well as under President Obama, as you can see. So he has a correct argument there. In fact, let me just show you another chart now. This is state and local and government payrolls and what they're doing since President Obama has come in. Actually, a little bit before he came in, since August of 2008. You know how much we've lost? We've lost 662,000 public sector jobs. So this is what President Obama is talking about. The public sector is getting killed while the private sector is actually comparatively doing much, much better. Now, this is all at the same exact time that the Republicans are claiming, oh my God, President Obama spends too much, he hires too many people, he believes in big government. But the numbers tell you the exact opposite story. In fact, let me summarize the numbers for you guys. If we had normal public sector job growth, as we did under President Bush, growing at a normal rate, so far under President Obama's administration, we would have added 800,000 jobs. Instead, we lost over 600,000. Since he came in, we lost 607,000 to be exact. So we have a net of 1.4 million jobs that could have been a part of this economy if President Obama had simply continued government employment at the same pace as his predecessors. But he didn't. He drastically cut government. And so do Republicans in these local and state areas. And by the way, if we had 1.4 million more jobs in the country, well, then that would have helped the private sector more too, because those people would have had jobs, they would have spent money, and that would have helped the private sector. Instead, we didn't get that help. In fact, despite that, though, the private sector added, since the end of the recession, under President Obama, 4.2 million jobs. So since the turnaround began, 4.2 million jobs created. So you know what? When you look at those numbers, you say, hey, you know what? The private sector, it's not doing that bad under President Obama. I wish it was better. But as you look at that, public sector lost 607,000 jobs. Private sector added 4.2 million. So was President Obama right about that overall? Absolutely. Now, again, we all wish the economy was better, but it is one of the reasons the economy is hurt is because the Republicans keep insisting, and President Obama keeps listening to them, on cutting government jobs, which is actually a terrible idea in a time where we are having economic trouble. And it's not just jobs. If you look at spending overall, government spending, remember they also say, oh, how do we too much spending under Obama, big government? Well, let's look at those charts. This one's from 2000 on. And as you can see, you know, federal, state, and local government spending is going up and down. And then, wait a minute, after the stimulus package in by the time we get to 2010, what happens? It falls off a cliff. Government spending going way down under President Obama. Well, I thought he was a big government guy, but he's not. He's not. He's not. In fact, I wish he were more of a big government guy. I don't want giant government. There's a lot of part of big government I don't like, but during tough economic times, it's not the best time to cut government, especially cut workers, because then that leads to so much being removed from the economy and furthering the recession in a lot of ways. The recession is, of course, technically over, but the bad times continue. Now, let me show you a broader chart so you get a historical context. Now, this goes all the way back to 1952. Now, when you look at government spending, well, again, of course, you see at the end there, it's gone way down under President Obama. But this gives you an interesting perspective. It hasn't been this low since about 1954-55. And that was the demobilization we did after the Korean War. So when they talk about historic record levels of spending under President Obama, well, the truth is the exact opposite. They're at near record lows under President Obama. So once again, when you actually bother to look at the numbers, what is turned into some sort of gaffe and that all of the mainstream media is talking about is actually something that President Obama largely got right, and he should be given, I suppose, if you want to give him credit for being conservative, you should give him credit for it. I don't actually give him credit for it. I don't think it's something you should get credit for. I think it would have helped the economy if we'd had more government spending and government employment in these period of years, right? But at least be honest to your audience about what's actually happening instead of doing the he said, she said crap that I've heard for 4 days straight now.